Did you know that the Black Business Association of Oregon is here to help Black-owned businesses thrive?
They are now offering grants, access to capital programs, and direct technical assistance for Portland-based businesses.
Applications are open from October 1st to October 31st, so don't wait.
To apply for the grants and learn more about their programming, visit bbaoregon.org. That's bbaoregon.org.
This opportunity was made possible by Prosper Portland.
Yeah, I'm ready. Wait, what did MJ say we're calling this again? Oh, right. No, I got it. I know we're live. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Live. In person, live Raw. Welcome back to News of My Fiance, Raw, live, in person, live Raw, with Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush. We're back reporting live from the 5 Alarm Fire. That is downtown Portland. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your support. Be a part of the Text Chat Fam squad and join the conversation in the chat.
Shout out to our studio sponsors, We Out Here Magazine and Spirited Justice, for providing this dope space for us every Monday. Shout out to our production team, Kyle of Residual Audio, Jess and Ross, and our remote quality controller, Michelle. For making sure that this show happens every Monday. And of course, shout out to y'all for watching, listening, and staying engaged with us.
Now, before we get started, fiancés, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and ring that motherflubbing bell so the algorithm notices.
It's the who?
The owls and the rhythms.
Algorithm.
Yeah, that's what I need to know.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm not sure if they heard me the first time, so I'm glad that you brought,
I think they did.
Become a member over at patreon.com/newswithmyfiance to support our expanding show. We just want to spend more time with you and still pay our bills.
You know.
Let's get this quality time popping.
Cha-ching.
Oh, shout out to the YouTube subscribers. We are at 97. That's 3 away from our 2024 goal.
Listen.
Just
do it from your other emails right now, real quick. You have 17 Gmail accounts. They all came with the YouTube.
Just do it from there.
Sign in with that real quick. Subscribe.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. That's a great suggestion.
Meet our goal. I don't even know how we'll celebrate, but we'll do something every 100.
Coke.
No.
Coca-Cola.
Also no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, a quick anecdote. One of our mutual homies, Charlissa, she put a post up on Facebook, because I'm still over there, and she was talking about, she's knocking out this salad before her next client came in, and she's down to the last couple of bites of her salad, and what does she see? A spider in the salad.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
A figment of her imagination.
Man, I was like...
What?
I would be drinking Coca-Cola mixed with Pepsi for the remainder of the evening.
Just to make sure you burned anything out.
Whatever could have possibly...
Treat your body like the carburetor it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's the stuff?
I don't know.
Corrode?
Yes.
Decorrode yourself.
Decorrode.
I don't think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive.
Uncorrode, decorode. Yeah.
Get it off you.
Get it off and out.
Which we know a Coke will handle the scandal on a battery. So
Bruh.
It's got to be.
I was super stressed. For her. But
I mean, my problem is now I want to know what kind, how big,
spider?
did you come from around, you were where I was, or did you come from a different place?
Did you
come in
with the salad?
Right.
Because my thing is, if you were here, right, in the office with me, and then you drop down into the salad, for what? What is
for accident? I think. I think they didn't want to.
I mean, they navigate spaces very well and remain unseen for the most part. Why is it? What did you mistake for prey in my salad, and so I can never use it again?
I think maybe they mistook it for cover. I don't know.
That does beg the question of how many spiders we've accidentally eaten.
It doesn't actually beg that question. No, that question's not been begged, and I'd like to move forward. If whatever this is about to be, no thank you. It's a
hard pass.
It's a solid hard pass for me to contemplate that for the rest of the evening.
Fine. All right. Let's keep it moving then.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what are we doing tonight? We're doing a few things tonight.
Yeah.
We didn't have a Thursday show, so some stuff from that we have on the docket may go to this next Thursday because there's a lot to talk about. Oh, okay. Should be able to fix my glasses without
poking yourself in the
knocking
eye.
them off my face. Right. You know. I do want to take this moment to say that I would not be a good friend, let alone a good partner, if I did not tell you that there is a little piece of pepper in your tooth. And it's on the side closest to me. And everybody should know now that I'm really amazing.
All right. I'll work on it.
Again.
You go ahead and
very good friend.
Get to it.
We're going to talk about a few things today. We're not going to spend a whole bunch of time on Trump's proposed admin cabinet. We talked about that previously. We're not going to spend a ton of time on it, but we are going to spend some time on it because the mediocre manosphere is just manosphering. And I don't know what day it was that Pete Hegseth was.
I'm sorry, who's this?
A former Foxen friend. I don't think. I don't know why else you would know him. Okay. Other than he was a commentator on Fox. You may have now seen him topless, though, because he has a huge white nationalist tattoo on one of his pectoral muscles.
So it's the crosses with the crosses and the crosses and the...
Correct.
Okay. People were saying it wasn't necessarily white nationalists.
They're wrong.
Okay.
Not only listen, the swastika has different meanings to different people too. So you know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Like, sure. Could it have meant something else to a whole different group of people in a whole different time? Absolutely, I'm sure it did. It may mean something different to you today. It means what it means to the white nationalists, Christo-fascists of this country, though.
Correct.
So he also has like a snake going up his arm that's like cut in a million different pieces. And
the Don't Tread on Me snake?
I don't know if it's that snake because I feel like that snake is in one piece.
True.
You know? Not 100% sure, but I know that I don't like it. There's like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't even, in this very moment, and I will get this going, but I don't remember what he has even been, it's like, it doesn't matter. I don't know what he has been nominated for I can't remember right this second, but it doesn't matter. He should not, you shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So again, we're not going to spend our whole night on that, but we definitely are going to talk about it. We're also going to talk about the co-opting and redefinition that the right is able to do with long-standing words, phrases, traditions, because it's grinding our frickin' gears. And we're also going to talk about these streaming sickos. You know, I don't have a better word for it in this moment.
When you say streaming sickos,
I mean Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, MGM, Apple, Paramount, Peacock. There's a bunch more. And there shouldn't be. Yeah. But there are. And I want to talk about how the flub did we get here in this way, and then how do we let it happen, and why are we letting them get away with it? Like, it's
a trap. It's a trap.
But first, you know what I want to talk about?
What are you talking about? Is it the first thing on that list? Oh, you switched it.
It is the first thing on that list.
It's the first thing on the list now. One Matthew Gaetz?
Matthew Joseph Robinette Byron Gaetz. I was just about to say, what's his middle name?
You can't make his middle name a whole separate person's name.
Do you know how many different ways white people spell the name Kaylee? I can do whatever I want. I can literally do whatever I want. Yeah. Matt Joseph Robinette Jr. even.
Fair enough.
Biden Jr. Gaetz. Not sorry. That came out right. I am not sorry. Anyway, you may have heard that one Matt Gaetz, who was a Florida congressman and alleged sex trafficker.
Yes, this is true.
Oh, that reminds me of one other thing that I need to add on here. But Matt Gaetz is one of the, whatever the iteration name, I guess it's MAGA maybe, but like there was the Tea Party. And then like I think Matt Gaetz was probably like, 18 or something when the Tea Party was a thing. And he was like, I cannot wait to go to there. Put me in the game, coach. And then they did. And he took that whole coded language of, economic anxieties and faux populism and tan suits and ran.
And American ties.
Well, someone had to do it.
He loves those American flag ties.
He also loves Botox, and I think that's great. And I think he should continue to get the gender-affirming care that he wants. And I think he should stop limiting other people from getting that care.
He also loves underage girls.
Well, that's the care that we don't want him to have.
No.
The problem is, so does everyone else in this fucking cabinet. So not a whole lot we can do about that. Not strange that he is still nominated. Not strange that we're even talking about him becoming. I'm sorry, we skipped a lot of steps. He has been picked. He is Trump's pick for Attorney General.
Right.
Which is
top cop.
The top cop, the top law enforcement agent. And this is a person who skirts accountability every single second that he possibly can. Like the amount of DUIs I'm sure he's supposed to have, off the charts. The amount of times he's been like, you know who my dad is, off the charts.
Right. My dad owns the dealership.
His dad did way more than a dealership. His dad was also in politics in Florida. So I'm sure many a thing just handed to that young fella. But yes, he has been alleged to do the sex trafficking. He has been alleged to have sex with a minor. The drug use, off the charts. The snorting Viagra on the floor of the house, that's just fantastic.
No.
Okay?
No.
Okay?
No.
That right there?
That's not a thing. That's not an actual thing. Snorting Viagra on the floor of the house?
Bragging about it. I want you to know that he and I are almost the same age.
Oh, my God.
Is it Beavis or Butthead? Which is the one that he looks like? I can never remember. Which one has the dark hair?
Beavis. No, it's Butthead. Butthead has the dark hair.
So he's Butthead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or does he look like Beavis with brown
No,
hair?
he definitely looks like Butthead.
Okay.
That side remember. Profile? Yeah.
Mans is 42 years old. Into now. Today is 2024. In 2017 is when he was accused of doing the horizontal polka with a 17-year-old. And I don't know if you're great at math. 2017, not even a full 10 years from 2024.
No,
you know?
Not at all.
Matt wasn't 32 doing that.
No.
Anyway, he has resigned as a congressman. And some news outlets are going to tell you he resigned because he got a new job.
New job lined up.
I mean, he's not at all confirmed by the Senate. We'll get to that in a second. But I have a different thought. And I'm not the only one with this thought. As I was listening to a news piece earlier, and they're explaining that Matt Gaetz has resigned, and then they're explaining the House Ethics Committee's report that is set to come out or talking about coming out any day now type of thing. Man's quit because as soon as you are no longer a congressperson, there is no investigation.
You're no longer a public servant.
We do not, well, it's not necessarily that.
Okay.
It is the House Ethics Committee.
Oh.
So if you are no longer a part of the House,
Ethics Committee can't pull you.
To that end, you might as well be a citizen in that regard.
Got you.
The fact that people are saying he quit or resigned because of the AG position that he does not, in fact, actually have yet, laughable. Laughable. Do I think that whatever comes out in that report, if it ever comes out, which it might not because what's Speaker Johnson? He was like, yeah, that'd be setting a precedence that we don't want to set. You know, they're not going to be able to investigate someone who's not in the House. So, yeah, we're not going to release that. Do I think that whatever's in it would change people's mind and make them say, hey, state senator, or call up your senator and be like, don't do it. Don't confirm him, please. Right. No, I don't. I think the people that do that would be people that would not vote for Matt Gaetz in the first place. And probably don't live in Florida, so they probably don't get too far, right?
Right.
This man quit his job so that a damaging report would not come out about him as he is about to become the top
cop
law enforcement, as he has continued to skirt law enforcement. That's the kind of thing that shows me what we're getting into. Like, it isn't just the Trump administration anymore.
Right.
I think that first one had a round was the, what do you call it? Practice round?
Oh, his first term.
First administration. Yeah. His first term was the practice round.
It's the scrimmage.
Thank you. And we're now in the second portion in which Act 2 for him looks a lot like a plan that has been in place and been working on its way for decades. Decades. Filling your cabinet with loyalists and not actually qualified people is, in fact, a DEI hire for them in their idea of what DEI means.
Absolutely.
Every single one of these Nepo babies and fail forwards have no business even getting to go to the White House, not like on a tour, not on anything. Y'all should not be able to go in there.
Banned from the grounds.
1,000%. These are people that also were like, insurrection? What are you chat about?
Right. Pro-insurrection is like, get out of here.
So yeah, you don't get to be there. You don't get to be in the West Wing doing stuff. Like it's just for me, I don't understand how we have gotten to the spot where all the things that once meant you were no longer qualified for a thing means absolutely fucking nothing.
Let it rip. I wish that this information was of value in the way that, I don't know, it would result in consequences of some sort. Our next president has been impeached twice, and the 34 felonies, the list goes on. 11 insurrection. I'm tired.
He just did a speech. If you could stop calling it.
I'm so tired. There was definitely a time when Matt Gaetz should have been, I don't know, on a flight out of the country to avoid prosecution.
I think he tried that actually.
And then realized he didn't have to. He could stick around. Because here we are. Mans is about to be the AG.
And you're saying right now, how?
Oh, I'm not saying how. I'm saying...
Of course.
Sounds about right. Yeah. From the second Trump came down the escalator.
I love it when we go back to the escalator.
Because we got to. From that point, there was a shift in reality where a lot of people did not recognize that there was an actual shift.
Do we see it in the footage?
I don't think it's recognizable.
To the naked eye.
To the naked eye.
Okay.
But it may be something simple as seeing like two black cats walk behind each other, and there's the glitch in the Matrix. Boom. Okay. There it is.
All right. I'm buying it.
Trump became president. That was
its own. What are they called?
Anomaly
in Loki, a something event.
Canon event.
No.
Oh.
It's a thing that gets them in trouble. Like it's if they go and they do. Sorry.
No. Yeah. Know what you're talking about. The word's escaping me, but yes. But then now that universe has to shut down because of this thing.
Yeah. It's that thing.
This is literally what we're experiencing.
Yep.
Shout out to Pharaoh Monch. On Twitter, he said, people think we're in the 616 universe.
Right.
We're not. We're in the 666. That's where we actually are.
666.
Something happened.
Is it Drake or is it Satan?
Is it the
Which
Braves?
one?
I don't know. But it has happened. So once Trump became president, all bets are off. All the normalcy, things that we could count on, like weather and paychecks and like birds not flying upside down.
Birds aren't real.
Right. All the things that you could normally depend on happening, throw it out.
Yeah.
Throw it out. Toss it. So yeah, Matt Gaetz. Okay. His co-defendant or his homeboy that he was running around doing a sex trafficking with, that guy's locked up.
Yeah.
Also, he was running his mouth.
Former tax collector for Seminole County, Florida.
Come on. There's nothing the feds don't know about Matt Gaetz.
Man.
Nothing. There's nothing the Biden administration didn't know about Matt Gaetz. There is no reason we should be even discussing Matt Gaetz right now other than the Dems are sloppy as fuck.
I don't know. I think the other thing we could be talking about is the prison sentence he received, but he didn't. So
why didn't he receive one?
Because the Dems are sloppy as fuck.
Congratulations.
I know how to follow a line.
There we are. Yeah, I honestly want the House Ethics to take this report, ball it up, shoot for 3. I don't need to see it because you're not going to do anything with it. You actually wasted taxpayer money to do the investigation that you're not going to do anything with.
Okay,
cool.
Now you've got me.
All right.
I mean, that's a fantastic argument.
Yeah.
Spending more time. And somehow these investigations are always like gabillions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like everybody is everyone's a PI or something. I don't know how it works, but when I see it, lawyer friends, are you here? PI friends, are you here? How much do y'all charge for these things? Like, what do you mean the investigation cost millions of dollars? How much did Mueller? It was like tens of millions of dollars. And then it was like, you could still be the president after we found out all of that. You literally were like, here, let me sell this country to you.
We might be in the wrong business. We might need to open like an investigative firm, that gets these government contracts.
I don't know how we'll get the contracts.
That's true.
You're about to get deported, and I'm gonna.
Friends,
I honestly
countrymen.
What is my place in what's coming up? Like just the work camp for the ladies that no one is gonna impregnate? Is that how's it work? I don't want to know how it works. I don't want to be here. We'll get to you getting deported, though.
Deportation is real.
Just in a second. But to your point of the Dems, right? Like, checks and balances are supposed to be a thing. And that's supposed to be what democracy gives you, is this whole idea that you have some sort of say.
Right.
And not real. Just absolutely not real. And you will hear it every single time a Democrat is going to even thought about, before they even said it out loud, thinking about doing a recess appointment. All hell breaks loose.
Right.
Everything, this is not normal. We should never. What are you what about the American people? There have been multiple senators who already said, he don't have to go through a Senate confirmation process.
Right.
This is just, he's the Attorney General.
He's the Attorney
Deal
General.
with it. Fam said deal with it. I can't even remember who said that. He walked up the stairs like, get out of my face. Like,
yo, please find out who said that because I want that on a T-shirt. I want that man's visage on a T-shirt. Deal with it.
Deal with it.
Because that's where we are.
It is where we are.
We are in the deal with it stage. Deal with the consequences.
Fucked around. We're finding out
of your tomfoolery.
And now,
yeah, congratulations.
Our gallivantics have brought us directly to
my deportation. Deal with it.
Okay, let's get to that. Why don't we talk about that? I was going to save it for later.
Son of a these things, man.
It's definitely a thing in the way of just who is, in fact, impacted by militarizing migration. Like, did you guys know that ICE needed a military? Did you know that? Because apparently there's been a study and they found out that, you just got to add military force to ICE and everybody goes away. We also don't have an actual working definition on the conservative Conservative Party on what legal immigration is, because here we are still talking about people crossing the border and going to the agents and being like, hello, I am here seeking asylum.
Right.
That is legal.
That's legal.
That's what they're supposed to do. Somehow we continue to report this as if those people were coming through in the cover of night and nobody saw them. And, there's
with
that
all the drugs.
lone wolf out there in Arizona who's the
mule?
The border control of that tiny part. There's always like some random white dude who's like...
a Chuck Norris of the town. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
They all have one.
Yeah.
And that one... ready to serve his border.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure that that's not happening over here.
He's overwhelmed, but he's got to make it work.
Have you talked to a coyote? They're doing the trafficking.
Oh God.
So we don't have a good definition because our Republican Party just likes to use words the way they want to use them, all willy-nilly. Calling people aliens, saying it's illegal when they're doing everything they're supposed to do.
Right.
And I'm not saying every single person coming into this country does that. Most of the people coming into this country are not coming through on at the border and staying or not declaring. It's people coming in, flying, and then not leaving.
Right.
And you're not mad at those Europeans doing that. Somehow those folks are not getting the same, the boot isn't the same heft.
Well, they're not coming from shithole countries.
Well, we just haven't destabilized them yet. Yeah. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
We didn't set our sights over there on Finland, but had we, I don't know, maybe a lot of Finnish people would be running their way over here to get some of the money that we stole from them.
Could be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That said, we're talking forced migration. How would that impact any of you with immigrant parents? You're like, not me. I'm an anchor baby. I hope that's not offensive in this moment.
Let me tell you something. It's informative because I never thought of myself as an anchor baby. I've never first gen.
Nobody should.
Yeah,
I guess.
First gen immigrant. You know what I'm saying? That's the furthest I've gone to even discuss my status because I was born in Washington, D.C. in the year 1976.
So that's not even a state.
Right.
Huh? I think your case is getting worse, bud.
No point did I ever question
your citizenship.
At no point.
Well, either did the United States federal government. They never questioned your citizenship because in the 14th Amendment, that is citizenship, birthright citizenship. You are born here, you are a citizen. Unfortunately, too many blacks and browns got born here, and then all of a sudden, there's cause for concern.
Right.
It's interesting how they use first-generation immigrants, like your parents' age, that it's like, how come you can't be like them, right? And when I say they, I mean the media or anyone who's like, we should definitely always have immigration and no one should be able to come here unless they can tell us all about our country that we can't even tell you about. And, right? Like, it's like those people came, they created businesses, they're part of the community.
Right.
How come these young people aren't doing that? How come they're all MS-13 and they, right? Like, they don't want jobs. None of them are doctors. None of them, right?
Oh, my God.
What?
Isn't there a provision, like, based on your occupation? Because Ole went through this. That determines, like it moves you up and down the scale.
It's definitely part of it, yeah.
So,
and she explained, I think that, like, you have to be doing something in service to the country, but not necessarily your community. Right?
So her being a public defender was like,
means nothing to us.
If she were a prosecutor, different
means
story.
Everything to me.
So basically, this is more get back.
Yes.
For me becoming a DJ and not going to medical school.
This is actually your karma. Yep.
Dad, I'm sorry.
Well, you asked a question earlier, which maybe I shouldn't ask it. I'll just say.
Ay.
We now treat people who are migrating here as if, one, our marketing didn't work and it shouldn't have worked. Like, you're not going around the world and saying America is the most amazing place that you could ever step foot in.
But don't come.
Unless
you're Kamala.
Unless you're who?
Remember that? Kamala.
Kamala went to Guatemala and said, don't come here.
Like, don't come here.
Girl. I really feel...
She was like, please no.
We were fucking cooked from the jump. That woman literally, like, second day of being vice president, flew to Guatemala and was like, as a matter of fact, I love it here, and also, you should too. Please stay. Your culture seems cute. I like it over here. Don't come to America.
Don't spread your culture thin, because if a bunch of y'all come over here,
then we just gonna colonize it.
Y'all culture we'll over
just
here, over there.
So you want to keep it.
Yeah, keep it tight. Keep it tight.
Gatekeep your culture by staying here. So anyway, they are talking about getting rid of the birthright citizenship, which would in fact put someone like you, whose parents were in the middle of the immigration process but not yet naturalized when you were born.
Yep.
So apparently, if your parents were naturalized by the time you were born, you might be fine.
Right.
I'm going to put a big underline and italicize that might.
Yeah.
Because I think it's doing a lot of work. You, however, I think we know at least one of your parents was not naturalized by the time that you were born.
Nah, for sure. I remember the naturalization. That means I was born. And
I'm not going to get into the timeline too much, but were all of your siblings born?
I am not sure.
Okay.
I'm pretty positive at least two of my siblings were born at that point. Possibly my third sibling. So it might be all four of us. I mean, I know.
So
for me, it's like, and I asked you this earlier, maybe those in the chat can help. I got two options. I got Nigeria or I got Jamaica. Which one am I doing?
Where do you get sent?
Now,
do you get a choice? Do you get to decide?
That's what I'm saying.
When both of your parents are immigrants to this country, do you get to choose or do they decide for you?
I said to you earlier today, I cannot compete as a DJ in Jamaica. I am not up on the latest rhythms. I am a good 5 or 6 years behind on the latest of rhythms.
Right.
So I'm going to be over there doing like DoorDash. I don't know. In Nigeria, I don't know. I don't know. Afrobeat. I can start producing Afrobeats. There it is.
It's called world music.
Come on, man. Tropical house. Word to Bieber. word to Biebs.
I think that was really Drake that gave us Tropical House.
Jesus.
And I know that Biebs gave us one, but I think that we have
Drake to thank for
one
that.
Aubrey Graham to thank for Tropical House.
My God, just colonizing all over the place. But yeah, man, this is a very interesting place. Because I remember saying to you, ooh, there's a particular DJ, one of my homies, that I need to check on because I know, you know what I'm saying, he doesn't have status.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I need to shoot him a text. Whole time, he need to shoot me a text.
Somebody need to check on you.
Y'all gotta check on me. I don't know what's happening. I need options.
It ain't looking good.
It's not. That's the reality.
I'm going to tell you it's not looking good because, like we just went over, the entire proposed cabinet, full loyalists that are not qualified for any job. They are not qualified for Arby's. No shade to Arby's.
None.
But they can't come work with you.
Yeah.
But they're about to be in charge of like big stuff. Stephen Miller being chief of staff is such an incredible loss for all of us. I mean, humongous loss. This is a person who is able to get people to believe in whatever the talking point is that he's talking about. In that moment, they're always white supremacists. They're always going to be a exploitative, oppressive view. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And being able to couch it in a way for folks that doesn't sound that it's explicitly that. Mm-hmm. But then don't get it twisted. He's also the dude that is explicitly saying, these people are trash and I don't want them here.
Oh, yeah. Easily. Since high school.
He got no problem saying that.
Since high school. Yeah, since he had hair, bro. Yeah.
Damn.
He's been that guy.
He has been that guy.
Yeah.
And just a group of people that are that guy. And don't have anything else to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like when your hobby is white supremacy. Like, that's wild. That's indeed crazy. Anyway, a couple other things happened this week.
Yeah.
Or weekend.
Since last week.
Yeah.
Since our last show.
One of those things was the Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Can we jump to the Taylor Serrano first and then come back to the Tyson Jake Paul?
I mean, I was just sure we can do it whichever way you want.
The order in which we experienced it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Katie Taylor and yikes, I'm not remembering Serrano's first name. I'll get to that. You go ahead.
So yeah, tuned in just in time to catch
Amanda.
I think like 3/4 of that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw most of that fight. Shout out to John for calling it. Lily's husband was like, maybe the second round that we watched, he was like, this is going to be the best fight of the night.
And
no question.
Easily. It definitely was.
Boy, oh boy, was the Jake Paul Tyson fight absolutely horrendously boring, stupid,
blah,
blah, blah.
I'll say this, because you and Lily decided to tap out and we're like, I cannot watch this. So
that's true.
I
quit.
It was hard. It was hard for me and Kaylin. Bree was on her phone, so she, but it was very hard. And there were moments when it was like, okay, Mike is gonna open up. He's gonna hit that nitrous. Because all we need is a good 5-6 punches, and Jake is down, like quick, fast. We just need the rally. Yeah, we just need a quick rally. And as the rounds kept going and Mike kept standing, it was like, okay, so you are holding out. And all right, we're going to get it. And it never happened. And it was rough.
I don't think it was going to happen.
Yeah.
That does not mean that I think it can't happen. And
interesting.
I think that's a fixed kind of fight. I don't think Jake Paul is doing fights that he can win without
it being fixed.
It being something. It being contractually he can't.
Yeah.
The way that Mike was, like you said, sort of still standing, now don't get me wrong. He looked tired. His legs look weak. He did not have a great stance, I don't know, in the third round. You know, he didn't have that center of gravity that you need. That said, have you seen any of the footage of him getting ready for this fight?
Right.
Like, you were either drugged or you sat down. It's one of the two. Because Mans is out here still giving full throttle, and he didn't give us anything in that ring.
Nothing.
So I mean, unless you want to tell me tomorrow that he had COVID and he didn't know it, and his lungs didn't work.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that looked like Mike Tyson looked older than he's ever looked in his entire life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily bad. He is the oldest he's been in his life, I guess. But if you see the footage of his training for this fight, he didn't bring any of that power. He didn't bring any of that agility. He didn't bring any of that speed.
No.
So I don't think that was a fight that was going to be Mike Tyson winning off rip. And he can knock out Jake Paul. That's the thing. Like, he wouldn't have to do a whole bunch of fancy footwork. He can knock that dude out.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Jake Paul can't knock people out, but apparently that's what he do. Doesn't mean you can't get knocked out.
Everybody can.
Everybody can.
Yeah.
Everybody can. And Jake Paul's a person who needs to be. Let's get to that. Because fuck that man all day, every day, each way you possibly can. Fuck Jake Paul. The entire idea that he is going to completely appropriate a sport and treat it as content. Like, you're doing boxing content. You're not an athlete. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not saying you don't train. Blah, blah, blah.
That's a good way to put it.
He's making content. He's not an actual boxer.
Right.
So you're out. You want to sit. I mean, listen, that drive slow, come out in the air tonight was one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen. It's literally like y'all just do not get it. There is a factor of understanding, like, how do I say this? Ric Flair.
Woo!
This is a person who knows showmanship, right? Jake Paul doesn't know showmanship. Jake Paul knows how to show up, right? But he doesn't have showmanship. His brother has no fucking showmanship. Both of y'all look like dweebs. Both of you. And nobody's about to make me feel different. Like, they look like dweebs, like the kind that you would never speak to.
Right.
And now one's just big. Like, you have the dumbest haircut, and you think that you're swagging out? Like, no. What I really didn't like, what I really was upset by, was him throwing in his MAGA situation while bigging up Mike Tyson and being like, we're going to make this country great again.
That MAGA bullhorn at the end, that wasn't no dog whistle. It was
real
just like,
loud.
I remember like all of us in the room were like, whoa.
It was real loud. It was real ugly.
Yeah, it was like...
Not a fan.
Again, going back to the earlier fight, the Taylor Serrano fight, watching Serrano get robbed that way, I remember saying, they're setting us up for Jake Paul to win. They're setting our expectation. Because the scores didn't make any sense. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Nah, for real. Like, the numbers didn't make sense. The performance, like, what do you mean? You headbutted her, Taylor.
Twice.
You spent the last 3 rounds leaning. You know what I'm saying?
Literally laying down.
You were warned to the point that you had a point taken away, and then you still end up winning by decision by 1 point. You're out of your fucking mind.
That decision
absolutely
was wild bananas. Like, it didn't make any sense, even from connections. Like, what do they call that? So you throw a bunch of punches. What do they call it?
Yeah.
When you
land.
Okay, landed. Right. Taylor's was like nowhere near.
No.
Nowhere near.
Yeah, Serrano was putting.
And also, I'm going to be real, transparent here. I don't know all of the things that go into scoring a boxing round. Is there anything in it that has to do with like you not being able to see out of one eye because it's busted open and it's bleeding, like, and they keep hitting you in it? Does that mean anything? Because old girl kept going for the same cut that she created. That looked dirty. I don't know. If I'm just, I'm just a girl and I think that you shouldn't play like that. But like, is that cool? Are we just fine with that?
Yeah.
That's just strategy?
Yeah, that happened during the course of the fight.
Barbarians. I can understand it happening in the course of a fight, but you keep going back to try and hit it to bust it open more?
Yeah,
that seems like,
I mean...
I'm not saying that it's against the rules.
I'm agreeing with you, like, there's other ways to box, but yeah.
I mean, it definitely worked for her. It was gross, though. The amount of what looked like dirty fighting and then was confirmed by Serrano in the after-fight interview, like, Katie Taylor is on some, like...
That's what she do.
Everybody's amazing. That was a rough fight. She's such a great fighter, blah, blah, blah. And Serrano's like, she does this in every fight. Look at so-and-so. Look at so-and-so. Like
she boxes with her head.
She boxes with it. She leads with her head.
Yeah.
That's one of what one of the commentators was saying. Yeah, she leads with her head. Fam, leading with your head looks like when she was laying down on her those last 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Not headbutting her twice and then being like whoopsie doodles. And then from that headbutt, huge cut in the eyebrow, and you just keep punching it.
Stop the steal, okay?
Oh. Okay.
I've had enough. Stop the steal. That's how I felt that night. It's how I feel now. Okay?
Nothing's changed.
It was a travesty.
It really was, though.
And then we had to watch the Jake Paul situation.
Another travesty. Domestic terrorism, honestly. No, so here's my issue with it. Yes, boxing is... Kyle gave... I had posted that night. I was like, who cares? Like, who wins? I can't open my phone.
Well, you've left Twitter, so you're not going to find it.
Well, it's not. I'm going to Instagram. Thank you very much. And yes, I have.
Congratulations.
I feel very good about that. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Very much. Kyle, I put up a post that was like, who cares if he wins? Tyson's 58 years old. If Jake Paul wins, who the fuck cares? Like, what does that mean for the 27-year-old who beat up someone who's almost 60? Like, how's that feel? Like, that feels good for you?
Right.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I put that up, and Kyle responded, and I'm trying to get to it. He said... the rich get richer, more clowns show for the masses to throw their money... more clown shows for the masses to throw their money at to line the pockets of the wealthy. Boxing has always been incredibly corrupt. Now it can be that what it's always been out in the open.
Right.
1000%. Absolutely. Indeed. And then I have an issue with a person like Jake Paul, who is a MAGA Republican. I want to just say Republican. There is no...
Just say it.
Yeah, because it's stupid. That's the trying to differentiate between the two is how we have a second presidency by
Absolutely.
That fucknut. So I'm sorry.
He was at the top of your ticket. And is now your president. You're all MAGA. Like, let's not play these games.
Let's not play these games. If
bro.
what he's saying he wants to do, you want to do, MAGA.
Right.
So you don't get to be in the presence of a legend in that way. You don't get to have some sort of, negotiated fight. I don't care if Tyson benefits greatly monetarily from that.
Yeah.
I don't care if Tyson, he himself was like, it was great. Loved it. Every minute of it. Blah, blah. I don't care.
Well, I did not, Michael. I did not.
It doesn't, how many black people right now are going to tell you that racism is not systemic? I don't care. that you didn't feel a way about it, that you got the 20 million and so it feels good to you. In this version of the world, we cannot continue to let the Jake Pauls win in circumstances in which they are not fucking qualified to be there and certainly are way too mediocre to be the winner in that situation.
Right. Right.
Yes, everything is political. Every single thing is political.
Right.
Down to your boxing match.
Keep the Gaetz, man. Not the Matt ones, but keep the Gaetz.
I didn't know what it meant.
Gatekeeping. Like, like you said, you shouldn't.
Keep the Gaetz. Got it.
Yeah. Like, he should have never, once the offer was made, like, no.
Like, who is Mike's everything right now?
Who are you?
Whoever approached him with that should have been like, get the fuck up out my face. There was once a time that same Mike Tyson would have smacked somebody, maybe just the way he did when Jake Paul did the racist shit to him and ran up to him as if he were a primate. Maybe could have smacked him like that again.
Dog.
Maybe smack him like that from the jump so that you are not even standing toe-to-toe with this person at a promo for a boxing match that shouldn't happen. And I seriously have a huge issue with people who give a shit about their legacy and what they're, leaving as an athlete. Mm-hmm. I think it's a wild thing to do to, towards the end of your career, do some Globetrotter shit. No shade to the Globetrotters.
None.
That's a whole different level of skill and kind of thing that this person wasn't doing. So this person should not be doing that thing, is my point. And like throwing a fight or doing some sort of like, what are they called? Like a scrimmage, but exhibition. Mm-hmm. But it's the biggest thing. Netflix broke down, don't fucking work. It's like watching dial-up.
Yeah, and it was funny being in a couple of different text threads. People were like, mine's an 8-bit. How about yours? I was like, well, we're 16 over here.
Just doing great.
Yeah.
Whole thing makes me mad.
Oh, my God.
That shouldn't have happened. And you were right. From the very beginning with the Serrano fight, they are really setting us up for a robbery. And
they were like, since you guys are down for robberies, we're going to give you a twofer.
Don't you want one more?
If that robbery wasn't enough. Oh, my God.
So we just have a little second before we go to break. So I will say that vasectomy appointments have increased by 1,200% since the election.
What?
Every single one of you, run out. Handle the scandal.
Wait, seriously?
Yes. According to Now This News. 1,200%. I don't know. That may not mean much. There might have been, 3 a day or something. Right. Like that. It might not be a lot. What it does mean to me, though, is people are understanding that there's not just that it takes 2 to tango.
Right.
But this has always been an option.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could have always done that.
Yeah. Can't just be shooting the club up, bruh.
Unless you want to have a bunch of babies or alternatives.
Yeah.
Or alternatives.
Yeah. Good point. I mean, wow. I did news I was not aware of. News you could use.
IUD appointments skyrocketed by 760%.
Wow.
The thing that's crazy is that contraception is going to be a no-go at some point if they are allowed to, handle the scandal that they want to.
Absolutely.
And so
they're attacking recreational sex.
They're calling it recreational sex. Now, I would also say that is an attack.
Yeah.
Just on its own.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're calling it that, scary. Scary.
Like your mom, bro. I'm talking about no recreation. Your mom, bro.
Matt Gaetz was seen having sex with a 17-year-old right after having sex with a non-17-year-old recreationally. AG.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
It's really getting to the point where, like, the words don't mean anything. None of the stuff, we get to just, like, turn it into whatever we want to. And that's just like that. Like we're just doing that. I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm sign me up. I keep forgetting to tell my doctor. Yeah, let's do the vasectomy. Let's get it. Yeah, I'm done.
Handle the scandal.
Yeah.
Let's go to break early.
Well, before we do, let's do the I would do want to mention the Equitable Giving Circle.
Ooh, yes, please.
Yeah. So they have their annual holiday extravaganza. You can definitely find more information on that at their Instagram and their website, Equitable Giving Circle. We'll make sure we share it from our Instagram as well, our personal Instagrams and our News of My Fiance Instagram. Make sure we share it from both. But yes, there's their annual holiday extravaganza. Equitable Giving Circle is so dope. They do weekly food pantries where they're feeding over like 200 families every single week. It's just every Thursday. It is free. So if you know anyone in need, if you yourself are in need, no shame in that, no questions asked. Definitely head to their Instagram. You can also head to the website to get information on that. And again, we will continue to share everything that we can just about the great work the Equitable Giving Circle is doing. But yeah, man, let's head on to the break. We will see you guys in 10 minutes. We're still here.
And we're back.
I didn't get deported yet.
I think, the funny thing is it's funny right this second.
It's hilarious right now till someone shows up on my job.
Yeah. That's bruh.
Dude.
Not gonna be great.
Yeah, it's still setting in for me. That's what's happening. Like, it's funny because what? But then, like, once it starts hitting the news and you see people get picked up, it's like, wow, y'all really tripping. Y'all really out here wilding. Cool. Bet.
I mean,
off the grid. I don't know. Just gonna...
I say let's do it, but
so, DJ and Coachella.
I don't think that's off the grid.
No?
I think that's like the most on the grid.
Sorry, I was thinking Burning Man.
Also,
no?
One of the biggest festivals.
Aren't you off the grid when you're doing it? Aren't you out there in the wilderness?
In the desert. That's all.
Getting all dirty, sand in your teeth. I don't want to do it. I do once.
I mean, all of that is true. It's just that it's also not off the grid.
I'm down to glamp. You are down to glamp too. Don't front.
Oh, I am.
Glamping queen. Let's do it.
Oh, let's not call me that. I've never done it. Like that's
aspiring.
There you go.
There you go.
Yes, yeah. I'll take that.
Glamp down.
Oh. I wanted to mention because I saw a few things on the Diddler, and I think it's important to mention that, man, he really thinks that he's a supervillain. Like, he's just living the life of a mod boss.
Let me ask you this, though. Is it that he really thinks that he's a supervillain?
Oh.
Or are we just still coming into the reality that he's always been one?
I'm going to take it back.
Yeah.
Damn, he's a supervillain.
Yeah. He's a motherfucking supervillain, bro.
I mean, and with the cool confidence of, like, a multimillionaire white man. He honestly believes nothing. Like, this stuff can't actually, I don't really have to worry about this. He is doing the witness tampering and the obstruction of justice on the justice's phone. Like, okay, you are doing it on their line.
You have to please tell me this. You have to tell me about this. Because this is wild. I remember when the indictment happened, and he was picked up, and they're talking about all the phone calls he was making, and as if that wasn't incriminating enough. But then also that led to why the judge was like, oh, no, you cannot see the light of day. Because if you have access to the outside, you were going to make a lot of people's lives very, very hard.
More so, you're already making people's lives miserable, and you are not on the outside.
Right.
And your fix for getting out of jail is to tell the court, I'm going to be a really good boy, and I'm going to be on my very best behavior, so much so that I will pay for private security to make sure that it's just me at home, and like people aren't coming and going, and like I'm not even coming and going.
I'm sorry, Puff. Who's going to pay for it?
He's going to pay for it.
So it's your security? So they answer to you? Interesting. Yeah, you thought that was going to fly.
Well, I think that they thought it was a show of like, look how much I'm willing to do in order to not be in jail right now.
Right.
I think.
You thought it was pretty fly for a white guy?
Like, I don't want to make the taxpayers pay for.
Right. You know, that'll be me.
You know.
I'll take that. Take that.
I don't want you to have to worry about that. I got you. Well, he did the witness tampering before he went to jail, right? Like while he was between raid and arrest.
Right.
And now he's just having his kids do some of it. And,
I'm sorry, what? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Tim Combs. Yeah. What are you
doing?
doing?
It's amazing that you knew it was exactly
He's
him.
the most outrageous one.
Was doing a Diddy's IG takeover. And let us know all of the amazing things that his dad has done and been doing. And he's just, we need to take a moment. Let it wash over us. The greatness that is one Sean Combs and all that he has done. That guy. So his son does a whole takeover.
I'm sorry.
That's an issue.
His Instagram is now 8 posts.
Surprising? No.
Amazifying.
So
I loves it.
He takes over the Instagram. He's got people making calls. He's also using, this is a tried and true tactic.
Yes.
Of having the person that you're in jail, you call someone, that person calls someone else on three-way. Now you have a whole different phone call that you didn't have to call or put necessarily that number on your list.
Right.
Maybe there are people you want to talk to that you don't want the government to know that you are talking to, right? Or you just want a little extra. You don't want to have to pay the extra money to make 2 calls. Maybe you don't have the time for 2 calls. You're going to have one and then the other. Well, another reason you would maybe use like a 3-way call, or you use the like someone, a different incarcerated person's PIN number, is so that they're not looking to listen to your recorded call.
Right.
So if you are calling out on someone else's PIN, they're not, they being the, administrators at the jail.
Right.
Are looking at the PIN numbers and looking at numbers that are called. They're not going to listen to it off top. They're going to wait to listen to it. So if there are numbers getting called from PINs that never called those numbers, maybe they start to pay attention to it.
Right.
I heard a defense attorney say nobody believes that their call is going to be listened to. Like, there are the people that are like, I'll never say anything on the phone because they're listening to everything. And then everyone else is like, it's really nothing. How will they know to listen to this one? And so he had done this little thing where he knew that the prosecutor was listening to their calls because that particular defendant was calling his lawyer on 3-way. And when you do that, you no longer have attorney-client privilege. Whoops. So because he knew that the prosecutor was certainly listening into this, he said, we got all this evidence. We're about to kill it. Like, the prosecution has absolutely nothing on us. Yada, yada, yada. Next time, immediately there's a motion. And they're like, where's this evidence? Because we heard on the phone call
that you got buku evidence. And then they were like, oh, yes, like we don't. And he said he did that specifically to prove to his client that they are listening, because he would say, stop calling me with the person that on the phone. Like, right. You can't do that, And he made a point to say that, like, prosecutors, that they listen all the time. Like, they will definitely listen when they know they're not supposed to,
and just excuse it away like, oh, I didn't realize that was their attorney until 3 minutes in. You know, like I missed that part. I missed the intro or whatever. So yeah, I did listen to it. They may not ever use that information. They may not do anything with it, but they have it.
Right.
So here's Diddy getting caught using up to 8 other incarcerated folks' PIN numbers. He's been doing 3-way calls for EVs. He is paying people for their PIN numbers. He is on the phone saying, make sure you pay these people for the use of this PIN. Like, none of it is... The reason I said mob boss is because he thinks he's being covert, and then he's like literally not at all. And there's something with super duper powerful, but like not legally powerful men that they will have all these things in place where it's like, if we do all these things, we won't get caught. And then they just stop doing the things that are supposed to make sure they don't get caught.
Yeah. They're so far removed from like everyday execution of things. Yeah. That there's always someone that works for them whose job is on the line if they slip up. You know what I'm saying? So they're way more meticulous and way more careful with these things. Even when that person has made a mistake, and it could be a mistake that this person makes continuously, it now becomes that employee's job and unannounced or unannounced.
It's not on the job description. It's not in the job
description, but because this is the way Diddy conducts himself in these particular situations, it is now my job to make sure this particular thing happens this particular way every single time. Has he asked you to do that? No. But if you don't do it and he has to pay a consequence for it, you sure as hell are getting fired. Right. So now that he has to clean up his own messes and just execute things on his own, it's just like, there's got to be so much of it that he's like, either it doesn't apply to me or it's like, oh, that's a thing? Right. Yeah, it's a thing.
I think there's a lot of that. Both of what you said, though, because I think these things. Right. He is not a stranger to street things. So he knows. And I think he thinks doesn't apply. And then plenty of the things he just doesn't know are things that you need to worry about. Yeah. Yeah. But this is all comes out as he is, again, trying to ask for bail and be able to get out so that he can, really work on selling his plane. Because how is he supposed to do that from the jail that he's in? How will I sell my plane? Like, you guys really want me to do that to prove that I'm not a flight risk. So I'm going to need to do that. Let me out.
Morgan?
Yep.
What's the over and under on Trump pardoning Diddy?
I don't know how betting works.
Nor do I. That's why I like using the phrase. It's one of my faves. Jess, I have absolutely no idea how overs and unders works, but I love saying that shit. What's the over and under that you're going to grab me a sparkling water from the fridge when you're heading into the kitchen? I just like that shit.
I honestly certainly a possibility. Certainly a possibility, at least the federal portions of it. But if there's this is the Southern District of New York. Like there's state crimes that have happened. Mm-hmm. So those he wouldn't be able to meddle with.
I hear you.
I mean,
we're no longer in the 616.
Okay.
Just,
Yeah, to that point.
Anything could happen. Like, fuck me, bro.
Legitimately, anything could happen.
And the only reason that popped in my head, because as I'm the Diddler, as I'm reading your notes, it's like I want people to be clear. I never want Diddy to see the light of day, and this is someone who's working on becoming an abolitionist. At the same time, it's a no for me in this guy. Like, no. And then in feeling that, just having that emotion, I was like, crap. Where are the circumstances under which, with all of this happening, he could still get out a fucking pardon from Trump? Shit. I never even considered it. It never crossed my mind until this moment. And it was just like, yeah, that's definitely Trump's America.
That would definitely be Trump's America. I mean, we continue to ask, how can you vote for a rapist? And I would say we should be saying, I don't know, knowingly to that or something, because when have we not? Like, we have never needed to know that that man was safe in order to vote or put them in power. And I'm not saying that we should continue that. I'm saying it is fucking ridiculous that we now know these things and we still do it. But the point is, when have we not? When have we not put really terrible people in positions of power? We have to stop acting like this is brand new. And I'm, to your point of, we are not on this in the 616. When have we ever seen white men do equality on their own?
Outside of just the nature of the systems which were created. So I like,
yeah. So I mean,
100%, like dialed in. Because even if you say like this person that was hired to do the job, say they weren't the worst person going in, because of the system that's in place, you were Obama. You dropped more bombs than anybody. Was that your intention going in? Who's to say?
Who's to say?
But guess what?
Could have been.
Numbers on the board, bro. Numbers on the motherfucking board.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. So when you you knowingly elect someone who is in fact a rapist and a racist and a misogynist and, like.
All the ists.
And is really down with violence, if that's what it's going to take to meet his ends. And then we'll tell you that a peaceful protest is violent and whatnot. But
yeah, I mean, if you're a nonprofit that is doing any support for Palestine, you will now be recategorized as a terrorist group.
Well,
and there goes your nonprofit status, and Trump's going to get you on out of here.
Well, everyone needs to pay their taxes.
How is that the response?
Those 50, the nonprofit industrial complex.
This is true.
Someone's got to put a fucking stop to it. Let me stop.
Those 501.
Jeez Louise. From a man who doesn't fucking pay taxes as like every S corp that you could be, this dude is like, those fucking 5013Cs, they need to pay their tax. I'm not gonna.
Man's literally said, if there's loopholes, I'm gonna use them.
Who wouldn't?
This is your president.
Is anybody else have feelings? Wow. Okay.
I think there's a lot of people that have feelings.
Start over. Is anybody else having feelings on the fact that he is making all of these announcements way too fucking early, and that we should not even be talking about who his cabinet picks are? Like, the election was yesterday. This man already has his, notebook with all of the love letters to the people that he wants to hire, and we're talking about it. So, my fault for bringing this to the show tonight. However, I think there's something to be said about, like, normalizing this rushing in. And if we're talking about Matt Gaetz today, when he is inaugurated in January and starts to put this cabinet in place, it's not going to be so weird that it's like sex offender after sex offender after sex offender after sex offender. It's not, you know what I'm saying? We should not even be hearing this stuff yet.
And as we mentioned, as we talked about it earlier, I think what's unique about this situation is Project 2025. We found out about this quite some time ago. And can you pick that up at Powell's? I want to know, is it at Barnes & Noble? Because I feel like in the back there's probably a workbook where you can put in some of these picks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think...
Oh, like...
There's so much of this. I mean...
Like a bracket?
I think there's a bracket in the back. I mean, here's the thing. They literally said, they put the numbers up. We are looking to fire this many people. They said it by the time they started discussing it in the news, because remember, there was that gap that was like, why the fuck isn't mainstream media talking about Project 2025? By the time they started talking about it,
too late.
Right. The MAGA, well, you know,
Republicans.
The loyalists over there were already like, no, we're doing interviews. We're already interviewing for people for positions that we haven't fired yet. They already started. They're like, listen.
That's just called being prepared.
And that's crazy because you hadn't won to your point, you hadn't won the election yet, and people are lining up for interviews for the administration you hadn't secured yet.
Yes, but I think I don't think that's that strange. No? Shout out to Veep. I think that there's these things are happening because you may win and you need to be in place.
Yeah.
That part isn't that weird to me. That doesn't mean that it's right. It just isn't that weird to me.
Shout out to Veep.
What is an issue to me is what we have just sort of allowed to happen, and I mean that in the way of, yes, these are systemic issues. Mm-hmm. I would say failures, but they're working the way that they're intended.
Right.
So these are systemic issues. But at some point, a revolt has to happen in order for action to, and
to right the ship. Yeah.
And we are being real complacent without getting actual liberation. And that's a thing that lands on us.
Yep.
We cannot continue to, in any way, just blame the government or the systems, but do nothing. It is their fault. It is the government making decisions to be colonial imperialist pieces of shit around the world, and they don't do anything. Our government doesn't do shit but lie to us about what they do and don't do outside of here, what they do and don't do to us directly. I hella wonder, do they talk down to the other citizens of places they've destabilized the way they talk down to us? Mm. You're the reason people don't have anything? Are you calling them, pieces of shit that need to get off the street?
Right.
Not that you should, but I wonder.
I'm curious. Yeah.
So systemically, we are in a bad way, but this has, I guess the point for me is that this is what it has always been able to do. The difference isn't, these aren't new things. It's that they're utilizing them. And Project 2025 has been around for a very long. They've been working on this for decades. Do not let anybody tell you that they sat in a think tank 3 months ago and came up with this shit.
Hell no.
This has been happening. And you should know that it's been happening and that both parties are complicit in most of it.
Yeah.
Because much of it has gotten not just passed or not just implemented during Biden's presidency, but they haven't fixed it. There has been no, let me get in my bag and do some of these executive orders and, there's been no reversal of these things.
Yeah, imagine going to a movie theater expecting to see the first part of a trilogy, and then you walk out not realizing you were in the second. That's literally, by the time Project 2025 hit the public palate, dude, we're in the sequel. We're in the sequel already.
We're so far past a moment that could have been that there's...
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I mean, there's not...
Yeah, forget about it.
There's not a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But there is a lot to say that we are about to be in, a really there hasn't been a great time in history for people that aren't white men. Mm-hmm. But we're about to be in a version with people who knew certain freedoms that will be stripped rather than people who are just gaining freedoms. But to the point that this is such a fucked up system, and like there has never been a point when European white men went colonized and then treated anybody with equity, equality, didn't care about nobody's inclusion. They're not going to do that today. That's not all of a sudden going to start because there are other people that have the audacity to say they don't like the thing you're doing to them.
Man, this sucks.
This sucks. Stop. And they're like, fuck off. I might do it quieter.
Right.
Maybe I don't have to talk to you about it.
Listen, I'll change the rules so you don't get to talk about it.
Thank you.
And then
Thank you for landing this plane, bringing it on home, because there's my real point.
And then I'll change the history so your kids don't get to learn about it. So that's another thing we were talking about a little bit earlier, too, with this whole book banning and the archives changing, the National Archives changing history and removing things. There's long been this conversation about, because it stemmed out of you saying, they're snowflakes. They complain about, toughen up, this happened hundreds of years ago, blah, 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 blah. This isn't today. Same people talking about our feelings will get hurt if our kids have to learn about what? These are actions you've purposely distanced yourself from for decades. Hey, I didn't own any slaves. It wasn't me.
I don't know anybody that did.
Right.
Why do I have to deal with this? Why would I be responsible for that?
You know how rich you had to be to own a slave?
That is kind of my favorite.
Yeah. So it hit me earlier today. It's not so much about them wanting to, obscure history because of the shame. They want to obscure the history because it's about to repeat itself again. That's what's happening. They're not hiding the past. They're hiding the future.
Real.
Yeah, they're hiding the future, Broseph. And, yeah.
That's a bar.
Thank you.
It says
I'll be deported soon, but thank you.
Maybe you can become a big rap star.
Oh.
And then they'll let you stay here.
A poet laureate, a bard, if you will.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right. I'll work on it.
Or you could just be like Boosie and just tweet in all caps.
No.
Please, Donald Trump, pardon me.
There is no...
Because my crimes don't even
There
be
is
violent.
no analogy in which you could be like Boosie works for me under any circumstances. None. Okay. None. Okay. None. Gross. Also, the girls won't let me rap.
That's Brianna true.
Would...
Yeah.
Brianna would love it. Brianna would absolutely stop talking to me.
I don't know that Caitlin would love it.
She would get a kick out of it. She'd get a kick out of it. Yeah. Brianna, no. This on me.
Not going to work.
Shutting it down.
To your point, now I can't even remember what it was exactly that you said. They spent 4 years telling us that that election was rigged and that all elections are rigged and that you can't trust the voting person or
voting in person.
Yeah, in-person voting. You can't trust mail voting. You can't trust the machines.
You can't trust female voting.
You certainly can't do that. All of the things, we haven't heard one lick about this election being rigged. We haven't heard nothing about stop the count, keep it counting, stop the steal. Now all of a sudden, it's not even like, well, they fixed it, so it did work this time. Like, we're just not even going to acknowledge that we spent all this time, plus like an almost $1 billion lawsuit against Fox for all of their mis and disinformation about the voting machines. Not a fucking blip. That's the word. Not even a nothing. Not an acknowledgement of they finally got it right. And the elections, I was robbed last time and now they finally got it. Nothing. To me, that there's something there.
A whole lot there. And I want to ask Joseph Biden, if you stole it last time, why the hell didn't you steal it this time?
You know, it's a good question to have.
If there was any time that they should be fighting hard to stop the steal, it's because you should be stealing super hard right now.
That should be it. That should be it. Should have stolen it. Should have stolen it. Just kidding. Not kidding. I don't know. This whole thing is so fucking disappointing. The amount, the fact that this dude got so many votes is just like, what? Like,
yeah, it's like, come on.
And I don't know that there's going to be this moment where folks wake up. But, and by that I mean like, oh no, like there's a
red regret.
Red regret.
People Googling tariffs.
People deciding to care about what that fucknut said he was going to do after the fact. Now you want to see what Project 2025 means, but before you were just way too fucking swamped. You know, there was just no way that you were going to be able to look into that.
Right.
But you knew that he said he didn't even know about it, but some of it was good and some of it was bad. And so, you know, what are you going to do? I'm not going to read it, I guess, but I'm definitely going to vote for this dude instead. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, tariff means I got to pay it? Oh, wait, you mean there's no inflation? That was greed?
Well,
oh, wait, you mean. I
don't know if you remember this, babe, but Mexico paid for the wall.
No.
Oh.
Lion fabrication. Mexico did not, in fact, pay for the part of the wall that was constructed.
No.
In fact, they said from the jump, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, they did.
And Trump was like, totally going to do that with your money. And didn't get it. And then just lied. Because that's all he has to do. Y'all not going to go back and double check. Did Mexico pay for the wall? You're not going to look it up. All you have to do is do that. Did Mexico pay for the wall? And it's going to tell you no.
Yeah. Every single time.
You did.
Unless you're searching on Truth Social.
And it never got done. So for all of that, I still can't really understand how he gets to run on like Make America Great Again when you were just here.
You had a run at it. You had a 4-year run at it.
You were just here.
Yeah.
How'd he get so bad, I guess? You know, like, I hate every part of campaigns, I guess.
Yeah.
But my biggest point is that none of this should shock us. None of this should be a thing. And once we really move forward with the knowledge of the country that we live in and of what our government's intentions are, our government's intentions are not to take care of their citizens. It's not even to take care of the country. Our government's intentions is to have a stranglehold around the world.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So once we understand that what this country is about is literally just imperialist bullshit based in white supremacy and capitalism, and I know those words be like, ow, my ears. But it's literally based in that. And they've taken it around the world and given everybody so much fun to be able to, you know, participate in capitalism and democracy in a free market. And really, if we just move forward with the understanding that we are, in fact, that genocidal force, we are, in fact, the people that are starving children, we are, in fact, the people that are manufacturing, selling, providing the kind of weapons that destroy an entire city. That's us. If we can really start to understand that that's us and that's the country that we live in and come from and all of that, we can stop expecting them to do the things the right way. We can stop expecting them to go by the norms that we have known or were told exist that never did. We have never, I've said this a million times, lived in what the described democracy that we learn about, we have never lived it. So the fact that we are still over here trying to talk about the norms and what it means to live in and how important the democracy is and how we can't lose it, we don't even fucking know what a democracy looks like. We know what this version looks like. We know that this version doesn't work, and we absolutely have to stop pretending that we're going to be able to change it by the rules. Because the rules aren't a thing. It's a genocide in Israel. Y'all needed the UN to finally say it kind of looks like maybe they're doing some of that shit. There's no question.
You see the Pope finally said, said something?
Didn't.
Yo, the Pope said, this is a genocide. There needs to be an investigation. John Fetterman pushes back. First off, Pope.
I'm about to fucking flip the table. I hate that man with everything fucking in me. Fuck John Fetterman. I don't give a shit about your health conditions. And I mean that. Because you are fucking up people's lives.
Yeah.
So many of them.
Yeah.
And you're a goddamn liar. Like, you came in this shit in a sweatshirt, bitch. Get back in your sweatshirt and understand.
Home. Yeah, go the fuck home.
All the way home. Get comfy, cozy.
He pushed back and was like, first off, don't like what you're saying. Also, there needs to be no investigation. Like,
He's right.
I reject the investigation. So
cool.
Nina Turner was like, not even an investigation, huh? Like, no one should even investigate if. Cool.
No, they shouldn't, because we already saw it.
Crystal
you do
clear.
not fucking need to be Jessica Fletcher. This is very fucking simple. Open your apps, any of your social media apps. If you don't see it on your algorithm flat out, look for it.
Yeah.
And then you'll not stop seeing it.
Impossible to miss it.
But this isn't me being like, you got to go look. The entire point is that it's everywhere. We are seeing all of that devastation everywhere.
Right.
And there's nothing like that devastation
devastation
in Israel. Like, there's no such thing. There is nothing comparable.
Yeah.
At all
it's unavoidable.
happening there. So when we talk about this being a war, doesn't that take two? I don't know. Like, don't you have to be able to, like, maybe it isn't about, having the same might.
Right.
But maybe a military. Like, I feel like if you're going to war with someone, there's maybe two militaries.
Right.
Not a resistance group. And we're just not even going to talk about why there would be a resistance group. And we're just not going to talk about what they're resisting. And we're not going to talk about that October 7th was a response to a very long time of occupation, starvation.
Right.
Completely robbing these people of humanity, of what very simple should just be leave people the fuck alone.
Right.
They have been controlling all of their resources for decades. And then they're like, that's not an occupation. Well, what the fuck is it? You are literally the landlord.
Period.
What do you mean? So it makes me absolutely sick that we need to see headlines like the UN is now saying there's signs of a genocide. Baby, it's November 18th, okay?
Right.
We are past a year of this. We have no idea how many people are dead because they can't keep count. And we keep using numbers that make absolutely no fucking sense. Ain't no way it's 40,000. Ain't no way it's 50, 60, 70. Decimated. And the problem with doing but the Democrats are better. And so, like, a lot of the things I've seen are like, I'm sure glad I stuck it to the Dems and voted for Jill Stein or whatever. Like, y'all are going to have to start, number one, read the fucking data so you can stop looking so goddamn stupid.
You're a joke.
You are a joke. If you are talking about Jill Stein stealing all the votes, you might as well be talking to RFK. It's literally absolutely nil. Zero, nothing. That has nothing to do with it.
Also, you voted for a party whose vice president, whose VP, the transphobe and against women's rights. So, not sure how you missed that, but cool. Well,
it is interesting to me when people are like, I'm sure happy I stuck it to the Dems. And their whole, but that's really like they're being sarcastic, right? Mm-hmm. And the thing is, this is happening now. The reason that the Biden administration and Kamala Harris were being protested so loudly, so often, is because it is their administration that is carrying out this full-blown genocide.
Right.
It is administration that is just handing over money.
And
it was
arms.
Biden who said, I don't need Congress to approve this. I'm just going to do it.
Yep.
Yes, Trump is awful too, no question. But what good does it do to talk to the person who isn't in power, who isn't doing the thing, whose vote, your vote isn't going to hinge on? Like, that's not going to make the difference for you and Trump, right? That's not going to make you all of a sudden either vote for him or not vote for him.
Right.
We needed to be able to put pressure on the people that even have a semblance of cracking underneath it. Like, if you can crack under some of this pressure, that's who we need to be applying it to.
Period.
Plus the fact that who's the person, who's the administration actually doing it, actually in power, making sure this hasn't stopped.
Pick your weakest opponent.
They are absolutely making sure that this continues. Mm-hmm. There is a goal. I don't know what Biden's goal is. I don't know what, I'm not saying I know explicitly certain people's goals, but there's a goal. And the goal is not get the hostages back, No. The goal is not like, can we finally get to that 2-state solution? That's not what it is. And it is important to hold the people accountable who are doing that. And if they wanted the votes that they needed so desperately, they had the responsibility to respond to the people telling them, you have to earn my vote.
Facts.
They have a responsibility to be a better candidate. You cannot continue to blame the electorate, especially when we, again, do not just one person, one vote.
Right.
Like, it's absolutely asinine that you can continue to blame voting blocks of people when you're the reason. Joe Biden being in the race and being the incumbent and there being no primary, that's a big reason. A lot of people said fuck it and stayed home. Yeah. There's a lot of reasons for staying home. And there are a lot of coordinated efforts to make sure that people do stay home. But what you can't do is continue to blame the people who are victims of every single one of these oppressive systems as the only way that we can get out of it. There's like a handful of people that run this country. It's a real small amount of people.
All right.
They allowed Obama, which I, have thoughts on. And that being like, maybe we had to give him something before we gave him nothing. Maybe you got to do something like that to get a certain group of people riled up. Maybe they've been too complacent. Maybe you got to, all of a sudden. I'm just, I'm riled up by the idea that we are all to blame for systems that are built to keep us here.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of reasons why people don't know what a Trump administration even means. What is devastating is that they don't care until it's too late. And sure, I'm sure will be a lot of red regret. I'm sure there's a lot of women that are going to realize that whoopsie doodles. Probably shouldn't have fucking voted for that guy. I think that's, true.
Yeah. Nah, it's real talk.
But it doesn't, so what? If it doesn't make you act, if it doesn't make you get in the field and change this shit, if it doesn't make you say, I'll never do that again, if it doesn't make you change the way that you interact with politics or interact with candidates, you're losing every time. That I do get to blame you for.
Yep.
That I do get to say that you are being an uninformed voter. That I do get to say that you're ignorant of what is happening. And you don't get to actually be upset by that. Because truth is truth. If you don't know something, don't be mad when someone says that you're ignorant of it. That's just what it means.
Yeah, for a split second earlier today, I was like, man, maybe everyone shouldn't get to vote. Is there a, what do you call those? Means testing? Is there a pop quiz? Is there something?
Well, we've been here before, so I don't think we get to do that anymore, as that was used against us, even if you
right.
Even if you just aced it,
Is
wouldn't
there like
matter.
a one pager that while you're waiting in line, you just gotta Oh.
I mean, imagine if you had to take a civics test to do anything. Would most of the people get anywhere?
Hell no. Look what happened when we went to ranked choice voting. Okay? Nah. Hell's no. Absolutely not.
Real quick, shout out to the chat. Carlos, if you're still in there, how you doing? DJ Cliff, ayo.
Hey.
And Kyle made it. Hi, Kyle. Hope everything went well.
Yeah.
Like we're just, we got to move forward. We have to collect the information. We have to retain the information. And then we have to move forward with that information.
Yeah.
And that has to, no, you don't have to, like every single decision you make has to be thoroughly, researched or something.
Right.
But if you don't know what's happening in your city, the fact that we be pretending to, and like, I'll just vote for that person, like that'll do it for us. What?
For the love of Christ, bro.
Like, Rene Gonzalez. Gotta get in some Nene slander before we go. I can't believe this man. Like, he continues to be a full-blown fucking thief.
Yeah.
And charlatan.
Yeah.
In our face.
Yeah.
And there are still people right now like, I wish he was going to be our mayor.
He was our
He
guy.
came in third.
We had a chance.
He had no business coming in third. Sorry I'm yelling. Kyle, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to work on these levels.
Yeah.
That's on me. Yeah. Ambush, there is a latest, though, with one Rene Gonzalez. And I wish that, to your point earlier, I wish that any of these investigations and audits and whatnot would then mean a thing. And so I'm going to keep saying this stuff so that, to my point of, we have to retain this information and then use it going forward.
Yeah.
He has faced several fines for violating campaign finance rules. One in particular of late. Well, one, we had to pay for his Wikipedia page.
Right.
So that it would say he's a Democrat and he doesn't really know them Proud Boys like that. We had to pay for that. And that found out to be a misuse of campaign finance funds. This time, he has been fined for accepting contributions that exceed the city's individual limit. So if you are participating in the match program, Portland's match program, you cannot get a donation from an individual over $350. And if you do, because you can't necessarily control the money that comes in, you must refund within 7 days. That's it.
Pretty simple.
That's pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
Just give them their money back. Yeah. Hey, that went past it. We can't do that. Sorry. What do you think he did?
Kept the money.
You're supposed to do a refund within 7 days. Man's weeks and months. We'll get around to it, I guess. And I don't know how certain campaigns are run, but maybe that money is financing something that shouldn't be happening yet because you're not supposed to have that money. And then you just give people their money back a month later and it's like, oh, NBD. But it is a BD. Like, it's a big deal. And they were fined. So I think that the amount of money was like, they were over $3,000 and some change, and the fine they got is $9,100. They tripled whatever the thing was. And that's the other thing for Rene. You just keep getting these fines and gotta pay this money, and you know what this bitch did? He's like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you could just start donating to me, because I got debt from the campaign. You gonna be Donald Trump? For real, for real? You want us to pay for the fact that you keep fucking up? Go away.
That's on you, bro.
Go away. Why would we? The fact that these hoes are like, pay for my debt? Bitch, pay for my debt. Can you rent for less than market rate? Maybe one of those? Like,
To your earlier point of fucking up the rich folks' money, they're like, we're not going to bail you out of this. You better do a GoFundMe. The amount of money we put into your campaign for these mailers, you think we're going to pay this? Nah,
they better
bruh.
not.
Nah.
And y'all better not. Stop donating to grifter campaigns of people that are never going to do the thing that they say they're going to do that has got you all excited. And even if that excited looks like, complete and total treachery.
A fool and his money will soon part. We can ask people not to give money to these grifters, but they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Points on the board. Mm-hmm. All right, well,
I want to give you guys some updates. It's a busy week for your fiancés. We got some things popping. First off, shout out to the homie Elias and the great work he's been doing with You Heard. It's a Youth BIPOC Center open mic this Tuesday night at World Stage Theater. I believe they do this every single month. The locations have been changing, but again, shout out to this dope showcase and this open mic. Very well produced. It's off the chain. So that is tomorrow night. For anyone watching live, if you are listening to the podcast, you may have missed it. But welcome to Portland.
Yep.
Thursday night, we have myself and 01 DJ Cliff. No Request DJs will be DJing the Monster Box Comedy Show at Alberta Street Pub.
Yes.
And then Friday night, we're taking a show on the road. And we're going to be at the Infinity Room in Salem. Again, Monster Box Comedy Show. Looking forward to that. I've never been to the Infinity Room. I don't think I've been to Salem.
Probably not.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Can't think of a reason I took you there.
Okay. And then this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, My People's Market.
My People's Market!
Man, is this 5 or 6 for us that we've hosted?
You keep asking this every year.
And
I
keep
no
saying
idea.
the same numbers. I don't know.
I don't know. I know I've done more than you.
It's My People's Market. It's the holiday market of the year.
Indeed.
Okay? It is an amazing market. Love My People's Market. It's going to be at the convention center. It's this Saturday and Sunday. Expansive.
Tons of tons of vendors.
Yes.
Tons of entertainment. Tons of food. There's always like games and fun depending on age brackets, and it really is just like I love going to hosting My People's Market.
Yeah.
And just being there. Like it really is a real family kind of feel.
It is.
And I love being at the convention center now because it allows them for the market to be a little bit bigger.
Right.
And spend your money with people in your community if you can, especially if you are going to be, holiday shopping.
Yeah.
Not one of those big box stores needs your dollar.
And they also don't have the type of things you can get at My People's Market. You know what I'm saying?
Certainly.
These are curated and created by local creatives
Lots
from
of
your neighborhood.
handcrafted.
Lots of handcraft stuff. Quality stuff, too.
Yes.
So shout out to the curation of the vendors, and also shout out to YGB for the curation of the talent. But this isn't like you standing in line in Target and you look back in line and 5 of you have the same thing.
Right.
It's not happening at My People's Market.
Nah.
So no matter what you're looking for, like you said, whether it's clothing, cosmetics, books,
Bath things.
Yes.
Hair.
Self-care stuff.
All of that.
They got it.
Come through.
Love it.
Well, Ambush. Mm-hmm. That was another News with My Fiance, Monday night, Raw, live, in person, live Raw. Thank you for spending this quality time with us.
Yeah. This episode was made possible by our in-studio crew this week is Jess. It's Jess. I went straight to New Girl. I'm sorry.
It's Jess.
Our remote crew, Kyle G, Residual Audio, Michelle and Ross, thank you so much. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all came through, chopping it up with us this week. Shout out to y'all. Our studio sponsors, We Out Here Magazine and Spirited Justice for hosting us each Monday. And of course, big shout out again to y'all, people that have joined us on Patreon, people that have subscribed to the channel, And again, those just joining us in conversation throughout the show. We always love it.
Stay engaged with us all week. Follow us on Instagram at News with My Fiance. Follow Ambush at Scambeezy. And follow me at Portland Morgan. I did just join Blue Sky, same name.
It's true.
Yes, I'm late. No, I don't know how to use it.
It's very Twitter-like.
It does look very simple. But you can become a member and sock it to our pockets at patreon.com/newswithmyfiance. And definitely like, subscribe, bell, notify, all friends. Together. We go together now. Hand in hand.
There's all different levels in there. There's all different levels in the Patreon.
Yeah.
So, yes, you know the deal. Don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is a policy choice. People over profits. Power to the people. None of us are free until we are all free. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you Thursday morning on X-Ray FM, 7:30 a.m. to 9:06. And then we will see you this weekend in person, live, raw, Saturday, Sunday. My People's Market.
It's going down.
We're going to be goofballs on stage. It's great.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. And you can catch this show streaming live on YouTube every Monday night from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And our podcast episodes are available everywhere you listen to podcasts except Spotify.